Welcome back. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about robots.
Robotics, dude.
Shit.
Ducklings. Also.
Nobody else is talking about robots, dude. Why are we talking about robots?
Well, we've been talking about it for years now, in anticipation-wise. But yeah, as far as crypto relevancy, I remember during the 2024 AI surgeoning.
Yeah.
We saw some project really trying to kick the doors down the robotics wave, and we
That's true.
identified that as a top signal. It's like, this is a little too much too quick, my guy.
It's true.
You know, it's like he's out here. It's like robots are here. It's like, not yet. Slow down, dude. But fast forward to today, we've got some pretty, I don't know,
compelling cases?
Compelling market signals that robots are actually fast approaching, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just like an Elon thing only, right? There's many labs.
There's a lot
of teams, a lot of funding being routed to this direction. So it can hit us quicker than we think, just like AI hit us quicker than we realize. There's going to be a robotics ChatGPT moment very soon. So we should probably prepare for that.
Maybe that's this coming December.
We're about to find out. Do you guys be the judge? Is this the ChatGPT moment for robots? I mean, we're already in.
Yeah. Is it called Microducks?
Yeah.
All right, so take a look at this. We have a huge news today, so this is hot off the presses. Today we're unveiling the first truly accessible real-life robot. Welcome to Microduck. A 25-centimeter tiny open-source biped with 15 actuators packed with sensors, cameras, speakers, LiDAR, NFC, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi that you train yourself with reinforcement learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's also playable out of the box with more than half a dozen fun and playful pre-trained policies to have it walk, sit, crouch, roller skate, pick up objects with an articulated beak, and recover on its own. So let's take a look.
Hold on. All for less than $400.
$400.
That was the real big eye grabber for me.
So you either get an Xbox or you get a Microduck.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of the leaks of GTA, I mean, it looks like a great game, but I'm not that excited. I haven't bought a console in like 10 years, and I don't think this game's gonna do it. I don't know. I'd rather just watch more footage on Twitch or something.
Probably, yeah.
But this, for the same price, I don't know. This feels like a whole new experience, right?
All right, let's take a look here. Here's Microducks.
No, dude.
He gets up.
This is all real, by the way.
Yeah, and that right there, you can actually train. It's open source. You can train it to do anything.
Grab your dirty undies. I mean, who wants to do that, right?
Put some stickers on there.
Yeah, you can swag it out. Oh my god, dude. It kicks.
It's rollerblading.
It emotes. Barely.
Yeah.
Wow, look at it, dude. Oh my god, dude.
You're quite enjoying that, huh?
The neighborhood's gonna be so obnoxious now. I can just hearing those fucking things just chirping away all day. Like, you're gonna hear that all day pretty soon.
Yeah, so here's the Microduck by Pollen Robotics. It's compact biped robot with the 15 actuators, and then here it is, like just kind of rollerblading around your house.
Yeah, as if it's like a newborn deer, right? It's trying to find its legs to stand on. Yeah,
what's cool about it is it's open source. You can train it to do pretty much anything.
Yeah, that was the big seller for me, to be honest. Once they said it was open source, immediately that got me thinking of okay, it's a UGC type of a setup, right? Where you could come in, somebody who's expertise in this field can come in and make these things do very interesting and novel things over time, right? Like right now they're picking up dirty underwear. In the future, they might be wielding, laser beams and just somebody creates a laser tag arena that you could bring your bot to, and other people have their bots. All they have to do is download this new app functionality, and you got, laser battle bots, and you can make wagers on that.
Sure.
That sounds kind of cool, right? But we don't know. But because that's a possibility, it's interesting to have ownership of one of these things in case there's a breakout app, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the appendage where you can attach a handgun to it.
Oh my god!
So that it can patrol the house.
I don't know. I think it's a little too heavy for it. It's got a weak neck, dude. Yes, this isn't the robot for that. So
Yeah.
those robots are also here and
Yeah.
coming.
That's true.
But the price point it's kind of like the deal breaker for most people, right?
Sure.
You're talking about 20, 30K in most cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's also factored into why robotics is important to pay attention to, because there's a very big company that's mass producing these and making a fortune.
Yeah, so there's an article here that kind of explains the ability to program it, train it, and even its hardware is open source as well, so you can kind of add stuff to it.
3D print stuff.
Yeah, here's like the training process.
Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, to me this is like the Pong of like, consumer home robotics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Pong.
like it's like the first video game console that people plugged into their TVs. This is, I think, going to be like the first robot that people welcome into their homes.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Introduce to their kids. And I think I could see a craze coming from this.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we'll see. But if it's Pong, that means there's probably a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years until the Nintendo's out. And then it's like it's over.
Super Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, what does this have to do with us making money?
Right. Of course.
All right, so here's...
So far, we've only figured out a new way to spend money.
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah.
But there is a Microduck meme coin.
There sure is, dude. And there's been like there was like a war once this, news was released, as typical. That's what meme coins do, right?
Yeah.
People launched them on Solana. Some were launching on Robinhood. But it seems the one that was paired to Nvidia won, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
It kind of... It's adding to our understanding of what the cycle's thesis will become, right? Like, meme stocks.
Yeah.
If there's something that's mimetic, the Microduck, very mimetic. I mean, it's got a ton of attention, ton of interest, and the name itself is great. You could launch this paired to ETH or Solana, which they did, but they didn't pan out. The market didn't gravitate to that. They gravitated to the one that's paired to the company that basically owns this, right?
Yeah. Nvidia, yeah, they just recently purchased today Hugging Face for $13 billion, which is working with this company with Microducks.
Yeah, so that's the thesis, right? You don't just want to own memes anymore. I mean, you can, but it'd be better to own a meme that's also directly distributing you like exposure to some big company, right? That is connected to the meme itself.
Yeah.
In this case, it's Nvidia. So it's cool. Like if you buy this meme coin, you're just going to receive Nvidia stock.
Yeah.
Also, as it continues to trade.
Yeah, so this one's interesting. It has 5 million in volume, like on day one. That's a lot.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes from here. If the Microduck truly does become a Christmas...
A miracle?
Like Furbies. I don't know if you guys are old enough who are watching this. Remember Furbies? We're pretty freaking old.
let me pull up Furbies because...
Yeah, I guess if you never saw one, you don't know what the hell we're talking about. But this was the Microduck 30 years ago, I would say.
Yeah, and it's like it's a hard inner shell, and it takes batteries, and the eyes open, and
you get like press on its tongue when
squeaks.
It gets hungry. Yeah, like if it's hungry, it doesn't stop like being annoying. I think it actually die too. Like I think.
Yeah, I've never had one. I saw this for the first time. I was like, that's not for me.
Like as a kid.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Yeah, not me, dude. I was all in. I was like, these are fucking great, dude. I want one, and I got one. And yeah, I'm anticipating the Microduck experience to be way more.
Cyberduck would have been a better name.
No, Microduck's great, dude. it's hilarious.
All right, but what else is going on with robots? Well, this guy says robotics is next. Both deal count and investment amounts are skyrocketing per pitch book.
Yeah.
Good thing is that the same AI DC exposure often has cross exposure to humanoid ramp. So it says like DRAM and NAND with memory or DFB lasers with photonics. Right now, most exposure is upstream component parts or programmed within Amazon and Tesla. So global IPO season H2 into 2027 is for pure humanoid robotics.
Yeah, we're seeing that the metrics are showing up. And especially in China, in the East. So there's a company called Unitree here that I'm sure you've seen them. These like little ninja robots are like,
they're hanging out with YouTubers.
Yeah,
every single YouTuber has one.
They're just like publicly abusing these things.
Even Benny has one.
Yeah, Benny has one. He was trying to figure out, what do I do with my Unitree? What are they called? Unitree bots? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
They probably have a specific name, but the company itself that's mass producing these things had a pretty wild entry to the stock market.
Yeah, Unitree's Shanghai IPO was oversubscribed by 8,288x.
Insane.
9.8 million retail accounts chased a $900 million offering.
Wowzers.
Final odds of getting shares is 0.018%.
Wow.
Retail wants exposure to robotics. This is just a start.
Yeah.
And so they did an IPO, got oversubscribed, only raising 900 million. It's kind of low, but the starting market cap was around 10 to 15 billion.
Yeah, which is in comparison to U.S. companies, like tech companies, this is...
They start at trillions.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow the United States has lost the plot. I mean, pure greed, pure elite class, like dominating like the dynamics of our economy. Yeah, like the retail, the public gets access to pure exit liquidity only. It's like, yeah, you can't build a tech company, only give like private investors and already wealthy individuals like pure access to the growth of that.
Yeah.
And then like bring it to the public. That's what America does now. It used to be the other way around, like, you know, investing in Apple and all these other companies in the 70s and 80s.
That's
like
right.
That was your ticket to, you know, financial freedom.
Yeah.
And that's currently what's happening in the East, not in the West.
Yeah. So shout out to the Chinese, dude.
Fucking
doing it right.
Cooking it out there, dude. So yeah, this is an opportunity if I ever heard one.
Treasonous. You're going to put to jail.
I already paid an import tax, so I'm already...
You're free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already aligned with the, you know, People's Republic.
All right. 2,056 robots, 666 teams, 16 countries. That's the second World Humanoid Robot Games happening in Beijing right now.
Sheesh.
Meanwhile, only 14 humanoid robots on Earth are actually commercially available today. 14. It says the spectacle is here. The deployable, ownable, monetizable layer isn't yet. That's the gap Roba, the token, is built to close. No code studio to build, compute to power, and creator hub to monetize. So let's take a look at what they're referring to here. This is the World Olympics
In Shanghai.
in Shanghai.
Yeah, dude.
Look at all those people there.
Yeah. They're well aware that they are witnessing, you know, humanity's transition point, basically. That's what I would be feeling if I'm sitting there watching that. It's like, I mean, it's game over, right?
I think so.
I mean, again, everything in robotics is like pong.
Yeah.
Meaning like this is the earliest, the dumbest,
This is the worst it'll ever be.
crappiest it's ever going to be. And fast forward 20, 30 years, I mean, these things are going to be indistinguishable from other human beings, but they're going to be like way more advanced, like strength, speed, everything. So it's going to make for much more interesting spectacles across the board, like sports, entertainment, everything. Like robots truly are like the, you know, I don't know, the next big product vertical for humanity.
Yeah, I think so.
Elon says that too, right? Like,
yeah, I think so. I mean, they're gonna probably really good ones are gonna start at $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a 6-year loan.
Yes,
and then it's gonna be cleaning your house
and doing other things
like nefarious things.
Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people are gonna create all kinds of kooky, crazy apps and programs and templates and such for these robots to do, you know, novel and interesting things. And that's why we're paying attention to Roba, because it seems to be like they're preparing for such.
Yeah, our team was in attendance at the first ever Brain Berlin Robotics Conference last week. Great discussions were had with the Hugging Face team and the largest European robotics fund. The robotics ecosystem in Europe is catching up to the rest. Roba is ready to plant our flag in the center of that ecosystem. We spoke to several projects interested in following up talks with Roba Compute, and we are also currently exploring the setup of the first office in Germany.
Damn, Benny, you should probably hit up these lads.
Yeah,
they're in your
like
territory,
backyard,
in your turf, dude. But yeah, this is man, if you're looking for alpha in the market, like there's nothing more alpha than this. Like the Hugging Face team that just got acquired for what, 14 billion?
13 billion, yeah.
By Nvidia. They're in direct cahoots with these lads, and you know, they're trying to essentially demonstrate some sort of value crypto can add to what it is that's being conjured up here. And I think it's viable. I think you can do a lot with crypto. We've seen crypto incentivize a lot of things, like route back to Potensor, right? Tau.
Yeah, sure.
Tau did a pretty fantastic job at incentivizing people to build these like decentralized inference networks.
That's right. Yes.
And bring compute on chain and all this stuff, right? And it's still proliferating and growing, 10 years later, however old it is.
Yeah,
it's
not
like
only
5
that,
years or something.
crypto's the only way that these robots can do transactions anyways.
That too.
Right. So you would be probably the only one in your neighborhood buying a $30,000-$40,000 robot. You can commission that, allow people to use your robot to clean their houses, make, $50 a day per house. And then, I mean, that's your business, right? Why not?
Yeah.
And they would do it through crypto. And so here's our website, the People's Robotics Arm. It says robotics is about to get personal, open, and yours. Welcome to Roba. So that's the website. And what is their market cap? It's got to be, a few $100 million, right? Nope.
500K.
592,000.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And they've been around for a while. I'm assuming the reason why it's such like a hidden gem potential, it's because it's on base. To be honest.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's just base just does not have the momentum, the energy that other chains like Solana and Robinhood have. But who's to say that doesn't change at some point in time? Especially if again, we see the continual festering of like robotics, and now the public becomes interested in like applications that are developed around my little friendly ducks.
Yeah.
And that's, and platforms like this are setting up to like, incentivize people to create these applications.
Yeah, and look at the imbalance here. So these guys are trying to do something with $7,700 in volume.
Yep.
And then the meme coin right now of 5 million.
Yeah, I mean, phases of the market, dude. I mean, the puck is definitely not here yet. The puck is clearly in the RWA space.
Yeah.
But you want to anticipate where the puck is headed next, right? And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. It's like, yeah, the noise is nowhere near the robotics sector, but we're predicting that it will at some point.
Yeah.
Right. Now, is it 6 months from now, 6 years from now? That's harder to predict. Right?
Yeah, yeah. All right, if you're still not bullish enough on virtual, let me remind you why I'm still holding. It says, I think the market still looks at virtuals too much as an AI agent launchpad, while the ecosystem has already expanded beyond that. So here's what I'm watching. Virtuals has generated around 73 million in cumulative protocol revenue. The ecosystem already has names like Tibber, Luna, and Game. New builders are moving into agentic finance, trading the infra. Virtuals is also expanding across multiple chains. And agents launch on virtuals. Liquidity is paired with virtual, and vVirtual gives holders more exposure to the ecosystem. So I don't know of every virtual agent to become a winner, and we're still holding here. So virtual, the Tether, and here's the market cap.
Yeah, I tried my best to find like some tweet that we saw maybe like a year ago or something. Like it was pretty clear that virtuals was pivoting pretty hard, more so away from like meme coinery, more so towards robotics. There was like a tweet of a video like virtuals labs. They had all these like Unitree bots hooked up to some kind of rigs. There was like 6 of them in their lab. Like they bought a bunch of these robots and they're tinkering. So I mean, they've spent the last year essentially probably iterating internally around this robotics realm, right? So if you're looking for like a potential future nexus where you're going to see a lot of robotics plays, most likely it'll come from virtuals, right?
Yeah, which is on base.
Well, it's on many chains now. It's even on
yeah.
Robinhood now, so that's another interesting point about it. But yeah, I think it's time to start paying attention to virtuals again. Once I get my hands on my robot,
yeah,
we'll definitely do a follow-up video. It's like, all right, has anybody built anything interesting for these robots on virtuals or?
Yeah, they're supposed to be released in December.
Yeah, so we got a few months.
Yep.
Until then.
All right, virtuals protocol. Some ideas everyone wants to see happen and no institution will ever fund. For most of history, they simply did not happen. Tokenization lets the people who want a thing to exist put capital behind it directly. A man with no backers wanted to put a robot on a mountain, and now it's going to Mount Everest.
So I guess he needed funding for that, right?
Yeah. So Pablo knew nothing about crypto. He was trying to find robotics partner willing to back his idea of putting a humanoid through extreme conditions. And here we are.
I figured out what works and what doesn't. There I saw that everything that works in the lab just fails in the wild.
Yeah, so all the links will be in the description. Definitely check out this video. But yeah, here it is, the robot.
Hold on, you gotta play some part of this, dude. This is a
Best possible assessment about where to put these robots.
wait. Which one was the robot
partnering
there?
with
The guy in the middle.
The guy in the front looks awfully sus.
Of the
I
most
don't know.
extreme environments in the
I
world
guess he's
to
just,
gather
like, struggling to
information and be able
move.
to make the
Yeah, it's
best
cold out
possible
there, dude.
assessment.
It's cold. You don't want to topple over off Mount
He said,
Everest.
which one's a robot?
It wasn't very clear. It could have been like a malnourished, hiker in the middle. Who knows? But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a spectacle.
Yeah, so is this a meme or is this like a real asset here?
This feels like a meme.
Yeah, so it's Peak. It's called Peak on base.
Yeah, it's a meme, but with a purpose and a mission. And this is right up Murad's thesis, right?
Yeah.
Mission coins. The mission is to get a robot to climb Mount Everest, I guess.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a flex. It's like I own the bot, and the reason why I was able to achieve this is because I did all the personal training of it,
Mm-hmm.
which was funded by the Virtuals coin itself.
Yeah.
And so if it happens, I mean, it would be a big headline grabber. The first robot to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's huge.
You can stop dying, guys. We don't need to attempt it anymore. Let the robots do all this
Right,
stuff.
right.
Save yourselves.
All right, well, that's it for us. We've discussed robots. If you guys find anything interesting around the robot space, let us know in the comment section below. I appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.